I think indie is a great proof that the theatrical experience will always be a unique, a wholly unique version of film going and distinct from streaming because the energy that you get within the movie theater is just like nothing else that you can experience on your own or in a smaller home environment. Uh, and that's something that we sort of love as well. That sort of that collective experience when you're sitting in a theater together, you're feeling one another's energy, and you go on the ride with a whole theater full of people. That's another experience altogether.
You know, Mr. Rajamouli, I have to ask you, the abiding love for the big screen movie and the big screen entertainment aside, has just the experience that you've had with RRR since it dropped on Netflix, has that sort of is that tempting you in any way to perhaps do something straight for streaming?
I have some of the ideas which I have been contemplating to take for streaming, uh, irrespective of the success of RRR. For a long time, for example, the Ponniyin Selvan, which Mandaratnam sir is doing now, for a long time I had that in my mind to make it for streaming because that is the perfect way to tell that particular story. You can't tell that story easily in a film, but if you have a if you have a web series kind of thing where it is like now you can tell the story in 8 hours or 10 hours or 15 hours or 20 hours. There are many stories that we have which web series is a right platform, Joe was explaining a bit earlier. Yeah, I have few of the thoughts like that, and that has got nothing to do with the success of RRR. I always had that thought.
Taking off from what Mr. Rajamouli said, I have to ask all of you, can you talk about what cinema meant to you growing up? Was it a big influence, and what were the films that changed your lives?
Big influence films. For me, as a very young boy, Telugu films that I have watched, particularly from Vijaya Production House, Maya Bazaar, Misama, those are the classics of Telugu cinema. They had a huge impact on me. A little later, films like Ben-Hur, even today, I have said that so many times. I think I told you itself so many times that I have watched it like hundreds of times. Just the Chariot Race, I would have watched 1,000 times. And Braveheart, Mel Gibson is my favorite director. I get inspired so much from his visual storytelling. All his films had a big impact on me. I can go on and on about the number of films that had impact on me.
Sure.
Even today, even till date.
Wow. Okay.
For us, yeah, films were very important to us when we were young, but so were music was very important. We were sort of into the arts in general and very much into pop culture, all forms, television, like I said, music, but movies were central, and we loved everything. We had a big appetite. We would watch sort of popcorn filmmaking, that all your friends and family were watching, and you can enjoy that together. But we were also into more obscure movies as well. We grew up near a Cinematheque in Cleveland that had a great program of art cinema and global cinema. So we got exposed to a lot of films that weren't sort of playing for the mainstream or playing widely. So look, at the end of the day, while we would geek out on a lot of obscure stuff, we were very much into the French New Wave and Francois Truffaut, but at the end of the day, it was those movies that everybody else was watching.
Right.
It seemed to be the most fun and energizing because you could connect to other people through the movies. And so the bigger sort of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and the bigger sort of Hollywood commercial adventure films were big touchstones for us as well.
I have to ask the film geek question. What are you like when you're on the set? Are you patient? Are you anxious? Are you just raring to go? What is the temperament like when you're on set?
We prep diligently because we're a duo, so we have to collaborate. We have to talk through our process exhaustively before we get to set. But we have a crew too that we've worked with for many years that is part of that process now as well. So our development process is very disciplined, but efficient. So when we're on set, we're executing as efficiently as possible. It's hard, it's long hours on set. People are away from their families, so we like to be respectful of their time and be decisive. And but we like to keep it very light. There's lots of jokes, and expectations are for a level of professionalism, again, that is respectful. So our mood though is generally very light and easygoing, and geared towards problem solving.
Mr. Rajamouli, what do you like?
I so wish I could be like them. I mean, I'm very, very patient with the actors because I can't upset them, and because ultimately the audiences are going to see their faces. Their faces have to be the way they should be. So I can't get upset with them. I be very, very patient with them, but I blow my top off with the rest of the unit.
It is frustrating, that's for sure.
I want to end by asking all three of you, what is the last thing that you saw that made you go, wow, I wish I'd made that?
I just finished Stranger Things season 4, and I thought that the scale, and again, I don't want to get into a long conversation about long-form storytelling versus 2-hour closed, but the scale of it was as big as anything I've seen. It had an ensemble that I cared about, all the characters, and a villain that was frightening.
Right.
And I thought, that the Duffer Brothers had really ascended to the ranks of, biggest filmmakers in the world with that season. And I'm just more compelled by, that sort of robust storytelling. I also quite liked The Boys season 3 for the same reason. Scale, ensemble, thematics that were really powerful. And I tend to find that I'm more compelled by longer form pieces than so in general. I think I just respond more to shows than I do to movies now.
This isn't the latest thing, but it just popped into my head when you asked the question because it was such a resonant thing for me. I remember when we saw the original Iron Man movie, the first Iron Man movie, for the first time, and I think we can forget about this a lot because there ended up being so many sort of good films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that original Iron Man movie was mind-blowing. The way they combined spectacle and character, and the way they sort of inverted the approach to the superhero in that movie, it was just never seen anything like that before, and it seemed so tonally modern. That I remember having that feeling of wow. They got that. I wish we could have done that.
For you, Mr. Rajamouli?
Not in the recent past, like Anthony was saying. One of the films was Bajrangi Bhaijaan. I so wish I could have directed it if I had applied a little bit mind. I could have blocked the story for myself, but I didn't. I regret that. And not a film, but I used to play a game called Prince of Persia. I was really addicted to that game 15 years back, something 12, 15 years back. I really, really thought it would be very nice to make that character, write a story about that character and make it to a movie. I really thought. Later, Disney made it. Those two I wish I could have made.
Who knows, a reboot maybe on the cards. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajamouli. Thank you to Joe and Anthony. This was really every film geek's dream. Thank you so much. This was so enjoyable.
Thank you very much. Amazing questions. And Raja, such a pleasure. Huge
Yeah.
fans again. Thank you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. But we should catch up. We should really catch up. I'd like to meet.
We look forward to that. Thank you. And thank you for putting us together in this and for all your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.